This just keeps getting worse and worse. Johnny Chang needs to be stopped. Aaron Cortez, Orthodox Christian. That being said, let's dive straight into this video.
So I was covering Johnny Chang earlier. Someone said, Corey, have you seen his video over the fish and birds? No, people asking, wait a second, should I? Send it to me. I need to see it. Now I'm interested. And so someone said in the live stream, just type in Johnny Chang, fish and birds. Wow. I see this, and I just can't believe how utterly foolish and ignorant that. I'm not trying to be ugly, but this is really dumb.
There's something deeper here. Let them have dominion, control over the fish of the sea, fish, and over the fowl, birds of the air. You guys see that? And over cattle and over every other creepy thing. Let me ask you something. Why couldn't God just say, let him have dominion over all animals? Why does he specifically say, fish of the sea, fowl of the air?
Are you sure that you understood what he said? Because maybe you might be missing something.
Why does God not say to have dominion over all the animals? Why can't he say that? Why does he just say, fish of the sea, fowl of the air, birds of the air? Anyone want?
Let's actually Google what the verse says. God commands Adam to have dominion over the fowl of the air. That verse is Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28. So let's read it real quick together. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now that's just 26. Let's go to 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So to Johnny Chang's question, why couldn't God just have said this? Why, guys, why didn't God just say to have every dominion upon every animal? My guy, he did. Oh, but why didn't he did though? Let's oh my goodness, bro.
Want to take a crack at it? Food, good guess. People, no. Let's see here. Let's look at this stream here. Fish of the sea. Why does he say fish? Why does he say fowl of the air? Fish and birds. Let me show you, okay? Let me show you something. What's unique about birds is one thing, right? Birds have two births. They start as an egg first, and then after 30 days of incubation, they break out again. As what, guys? Birds, right? So they start off as yolk, egg, and then they, right? Two birds. Same thing with fish, right? Fish also have two birds. They come at two birds. They come as what, guys? Caviar, right? Fish eggs. And then after a little bit of incubation, they break out and they swim free. Understand?
Huh? Okay. I'm letting finish.
That can be applied to every living thing ever. That can also be applied to mammals.
Born twice. Understand? Likewise, human beings also are born twice. We have one birth through our mother, and then we have to be born again. Understand?
We can be that same argument can be applied to mammals. Fish and birds start off as eggs, right? As eggs, then it becomes inseminated, it becomes fertilized, and then they hatch from the egg. Same exact thing can be said about humans. We start off as sperm, right? Sperm, eggs, until it is inseminated, fertilized, it's not going to develop as a human being, right? Now that it becomes inseminated, we are in the womb of our mothers, and then we have another birth.
That's one thing. Let me unlock
This is
more.
painful.
Now, what he described as
Unlock more. What a Montanus, bro.
fish and birds having two births, first of all, are those even really two births? They're not two births. It's just they're born in one stage of their development process, because just like fish or birds, in the initial stage, we are in an embryonic sac in the womb developing, and then we come outside of that. That's just a stage of development, right?
Secondly, what can fish and birds do that's amazing that other animals cannot do? Birds can go against gravity. Birds can fly against gravity. They can go against the wind. Fish can swim upstream. They don't have to swim with the flow of the ocean. They can freely go up it, around it, whatever.
Birds are not going against gravity. They're literally using the wind, and their wings can catch. They're made in such a way to where their wings can catch the air. It's this belief or this understanding of lighter than air. I'm not sure. I'm not going to actually get too technical because I couldn't explain it myself, but I understand how the design of the wing, like the design of an airplane, can catch the wind and cause the wind to lift it up, and they can use it to guide. That's what birds do. What about fish? They can swim upstream, but not all. And then what about other animals? This is This is trying to make something more of something than it really is.
Understand? Likewise, when we are born again, we can also go against the flow of this world. Understand? So we have two birds, just like the birds and the fish have two birds, and we can go against gravity or the flow of the world, just like the bird can go against the flow of the wind and the fish can go against the flow of the current. Do you understand? So that's why he specifically says fish and birds. Amen?
No, he specific. Ah, it's like making a mountain out of a molehill, because God said that about everything. This is the problem with Johnny Chang. He says truths, and then he makes something out of it, and then he inserts something that is untrue. Let me give you an example. Right? Well, there are so many things that can be applied to this verse. I'm literally using brain cells, because this is something that is as if it was wrapped up in something that is newfound ideology or newfound smartness. It's like I don't know if you've ever watched that clip of ZS and Bilu, and they were like literally Googling Sir Isaac Newton, and it's basically a clip of them saying, what was so special about Sir Isaac Newton? First law of physics: whatever is in motion stays in motion. Well, no ish. It's kind of like this idea of like, oh, you thought you found something. You genuinely thought you found something. And there are so many parallelisms in the Bible, right? There's so many parallelisms, which is why you have to be guided by the church, because you can just think of something, but your mind can just wander and contemplate about so many different things. And if it's not you know how horses have these like blindfolds? They're not really blindfolds, but they're covers like this. If you don't have that tunnel vision set by the church, you can go into so many heresies and so many blasphemous takes. And it's just this idea that you're presenting yourself as this teacher, and then you're in other clips, in some other takes that you have, you're just spreading blasphemy, which I don't appreciate.
No, I don't understand. Let's go to the text. Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Now look what he says in verse 20. You know, it's right there. Let us make man. Then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them rule over. And then look what he says to rule over. Rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all of the earth. Well,
so God does say, let them rule over everything, over all the animals.
Your description of fish and birds, what about the cattle, over all the earth?
Exactly.
And over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. It's almost like you just missed that last part. Over every creeping thing. What about the things that don't fit your narrative, that can have two births or go against something? What about the snail? Can't go against much of anything. What about, I don't know, what about a lion? What about a gorilla? What about those? I'm saying some of y'all know what a gorilla is. What about a turkey? This is just silly. What about, I don't know, a cat, a dog? We have dominion over all the things of the earth. This is why, and I'll still put him in the reserve spot of being a bad teacher, not a false teacher just yet. I'm still learning about it, but this is bad. And the reason why this is bad, because this is just dumb. Not saying that he's dumb, but that teaching, you're just trying to read into something and make something out of something that's not there, when clearly, if you just read the text, we see what he's speaking of, and all these animals are included.
It is 100% bad teaching as a terrible teacher, because you thought you had something when in reality you didn't. He was literally asking, like, oh, why didn't God just say, bruv, he did. God did. You just conveniently left that out of your narrative just so that you can appear as a good teacher. When in reality, you're just not. It's I don't want this to take away from his zeal and the disposition of his heart. I genuinely want to believe that Johnny Chang's heart is in the right place. He does want to lead people to Christ. But the way he's going about this is just so wrong, because it's just, you're spreading a narrative that is A, false, and B, you're cherry picking to fit your own narrative. And it's not guided by the church. So let me know down below what y'all think. Do y'all think I'm the one that's making a mountain out of a molehill? Do you think Johnny Chang is making the mountain out of a molehill, making something out of a thing that's not a thing? whatever. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to know your thoughts. Aaron Cortez, Orthodox Christian, please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to know more about Christ's true church, Orthodoxy. That being said, God bless you. Please subscribe. And always remember, Jesus loves you.